Today we're going to show you a roast on the electric BC2000, a 4.4 machine. Right now we've preheated it for a little over 10 minutes and we've let it go up to its maximum setting and a little bit beyond. And now we're going to let the temperature drop down to our dropping point, which is going to be between 350 and 400. And that way we have the machine all nice and warmed up and ready to go. By the way, if you hear any noise or fireworks or anything, this is the 4th of July, so you may hear explosions. It's not the roaster. So we're roasting 4.5 pounds of Colombian, and as you can see, this hopper will easily hold probably 7 or 8 pounds of coffee, but we've got 4.5 in there. As I stated earlier, I let the roaster preheat to 450, then let it drop down. Right now, the heat itself, without any heat on, is generated itself to about 380 bean temperature. We're going to put the fan on, cool it down to my sweet spot, which is about 350, 360, and drop the beans and get started. So I've turned on the airflow to reduce the heat. I'd like to get the bean temperature down to about 350, 360, and then we'll drop the beans. As you may have noted earlier, we preheated it up to 450. It took about 10 or 11 minutes. Yours may take longer. This was based on ambient temperature, which right now in Arizona is about 100 degrees. So don't be surprised for your first initial startup for the preheat to take 15 to 20 minutes. But after that, each roast should start going pretty good. Now you can see I've got it about to my level. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I got the drum speed at about 50, 60, and now I'm going to crank on the heat to full blast, cut down my airflow, and I'm going to go ahead and drop my beans, start my timer, and we're going to drop the beans. Closing up the hopper. Now normally we can expect up to a 200-degree drop when we drop the beans, as the mass of beans were kept in a nice cool spot about 75 to 80 degrees, which is a good temperature to store your beans at, free from humidity. Okay, now we're starting to get a climb. And we want to do a pretty sharp climb for the first few minutes in the development stage, as some call it. And so I've got the heat up to 10. I haven't put any airflow at all on yet. It looks like a decent amount of chaff is falling into the tray here, so I'm going to put a little bit of airflow on, maybe 20%, which will help with the reduction of the chaff falling into the debris tray. By the way, if you hear a lot of noise in the background, this is the 4th of July and there's fireworks going off everywhere, sparklers, firecrackers, so just kind of ignore that. So now we're almost 4 minutes into the roast and it's climbing at a very steady pace. Probably at 4 minutes it'll be close to 200 degrees. And Probably at about 4 or 5